Hey everybody, Tim Crane here. Today I'm going to talk about a deal I did. This is a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac home with home steps. It's a foreclosure property. It was a 4-bedroom, 1 bath on 13 acres. I saw the price. It was actually listed for $44,900. They've got it listed for $45,000 here. I saw the listing. I was like, hey man, that's a pretty good deal. I actually did a BPO on this last year sometime. And so I had seen the property before. Now, when I saw it, it needed a little bit of work. Some of the work was done. It had a metal roof on it. 4-bedroom, 1 bath. 1 bath isn't so great, but you know, it wasn't too bad of a property with the 13 acres. Had a creek on it, a storm shelter, and it was right on a major highway, Highway 100. And so it had a lot of road frontage there. And so I felt like you could put up a commercial, you know, one of those metal buildings and probably run a commercial operation right from that property. And so I played with him a little bit. I shot him a couple of offers. Started out like 27, and you know, back and forth. And the guy wouldn't budge. He'd come down to like 39, and he wouldn't budge. And I wanted to get it below 35. And so I had made a couple offers. He made a couple offers. We were at a standstill. He was just like, hey, he's not going to come up. I'm not going to come down. Just forget it. Just reject it. And so I kind of let it fly for a while. Plus, I had another couple properties. I had another couple of properties under contract. And so I really wasn't very eager to buy this property. Well, then she came back. The listing agent came back to me. The listing agent's assistant came back to me and said, hey, the guy wants to, know if you'll take $35,100. And I said, sure, I'll take it. We'll go. So I decided to buy it for $35,100. I went to the tax card. Excuse me for not having this pulled up already, but let me see if I can. I pulled the tax card on it, and I saw where the last time it sold for $84,000 back in 2007, something like that. And the tax value on it was $77,000. And so I felt pretty confident getting it for $35,000. I was okay with that. And so let me see here. I'm going to pull all this up for you while I got you here. See how I pulled the tax card real quick. 8,500. Okay. Tax value $77,000. Now this is a mortgage company, and so they actually purchased the property. Somebody bought it in 2007 for $84,000. In 2013, the bank bought it back for $22,500 at the foreclosure auction. They were trying to sell it and make a little bit of a profit. I bought it for $35,000 from them, so they made 12 or 13 grand, something like that. And then I turned around and I bought it. So I had this thing under contract for about a month. I got a loan to purchase the property. Had to put down 20%. So we put down about 7 grand. I worked my payments out for 5 years at 6.5% interest. My payments $549 a month, almost $550 a month. By the time I'm done paying, $33,000. I had this thing under contract for about a month. While I had it under contract, somebody who lived behind the property in a house back over here called me and said, hey, they were interested in the house. I said, well, I had it under contract, but I was going to be selling it owner financing. And so this guy had already seen the price of the property, that it was for sale for $44,900. And so I told him, hey, it'll be a week or two before I get it, So I let a week go by, and then in about a week I emailed him and said, hey, it'll be ready next Wednesday. I said, the price is going to be $79,000. I want 5 grand down, however much it was, $680 something a month or whatever. And he was like, man, that's a little steep, isn't it? And I said, well, compared to everything else on the market, for a 4-bedroom house and 13 acres, there's not many out there for $79,000. And then there's none out there that are owner finance. And so I told him, I said, well, what's compared to what's out there, it's a deal. It's still a deal. And If you don't want it, that's fine. Somebody will take it. It won't last one day. When I send it out there, they'll be all over it. They'll jump all over it. It'll be gone in a day. And so the next day I talked to him and I said, hey, did you think about it? And he said, yeah. He goes, but I only have $2,500 to put down. And I said, well, the guy told me, he worked in construction and he had his own construction company and he did repairs, real professional. And so I decided to let him have it for $2,500, and I figured he would get in there and fix it up or do whatever it needed to be done to it. And so I sold it for $79,900 with $2,500 down. My payment was, let me get this straight. Their payment to me is $679 a month for 30 years. My payment to the bank is $549 for 5 years. Their payment $679 for 30 years. So for the first 5 years, I make $130 a month, and then I make $680 a month for the next 25 years. Not a bad deal. And the thing about this deal is, check this out. So I told the guy, hey, we'll close on it. We will close on it next Wednesday. I'll get it and you can move right in. He's like, cool. So Wednesday came and the guy at my bank called me and he said, hey man, we're waiting on the paperwork to get back. We're not going to be able to close it today. It'll probably be Friday before we close it. I said, okay. So I had already told this guy I was meeting him on Wednesday. And so I went over and met him at the house, and I have the property under contract. So I have what's called marketable title to the property. And so I sent the guy the paperwork. He signed all the paperwork. I met him at the property. He gave me $2,500 down. Cash. And so I stuck it in my pocket. That was on a Wednesday. Friday, I went over to the closing and I used his down payment money as part of my down payment for the house. I took his $2,500 and I used it as part of my $7,000 that I had to put down. Not a bad deal, huh? So, I got in there, it was a little bit down, but we're making a great, by the time, here, let me figure this out. I owe $28,000 and he roughly owes $78,000. So that's about a $50,000 spread we're collecting 10% interest on. That's $5,000 a year just on the spread from this one deal. So it's not a bad deal. I love these. I sold it before I even bought it. Moved it quick. Ain't got time to play. Just give me the money and let's go. Thanks guys for watching my video and keep watching. Okay, I have an update for this property. I got a text message from the guy who bought it from us the other day. He wanted to know what his remaining balance for his payoff was. And so after purchasing the property for $79,900, he paid us $2,500 down. He still owed us like $77,000. I mean, he only bought it in April, and so it's only been about 8 months he's been paying on it. And so he still owed us $77,000. He asked me if he paid it off, would I give him a discount, which was a smart thing on his behalf. Since we did so good on this property, we bought it for $35,000. We sold it for $79,900, and we didn't even touch it. I told him that if he paid it off within the next 60 days, I'd give him a $5,000 discount. Well, today he showed up at closing with a check. And after I paid off my mortgage at the bank, I walked away with a check for $47,700 some odd dollars. Woo! It's my biggest check ever. But you guys can do it too. You guys check my videos out, my little owner finance course at ownerfinanceking.com. You can do it too. If you guys have any questions, holler at me. Thanks. Bye.